Hey, good afternoon, and this is our new segment, and we're going to call it the Cherry and Silver Report. And my first guest, Coach Yvonne Sanchez. Coach, pleasure to have you here on the Cherry and
Ru-
Silver Report.
Thank you so much for having me, especially the first segment. This is tremendous.
The inaugural.
Yes, I can't say that word,
You're
but
number one.
this is awesome, and it's an honor to be here.
Well, your roots go so deep at the University of New Mexico. I mean, a native of the state of New Mexico, went to El Dorado High School, then went out to college and kind of took a little detour out to San Diego. Tell us a little bit about that so people get caught up and actually know where you started and why you finished at the University of New Mexico here to be the first women's head coach in a long time. I think
Yeah,
you're the first from the state of New Mexico, right?
I believe so. I think the last women's coach was Mo Eckroth and then Kathy Marpy. Doug Hazelton was in between them, but it was a good place for me out of high school. I really wasn't recruited by New Mexico. Doug Hazelton was here, and I mean, for how recruiting goes now, I understand. You have too many guards, too many, or you're just not good enough, one of the two. But I ended up playing at U.S. International in San Diego. Really enjoyed the conference. It was the West Coast Athletic Conference, so we played Pepperdine, San Diego, USD. I said that Loyola Marymount. Schools like that, and it was really, really fun. It's fun to be out in the West Coast. I'd never really been before, and San Diego's not a bad place to live.
No.
So did that, coached high school basketball after college for 4 years, and then got my first shot at New Mexico State, of all places, and loved it. Spent 6 years there, spent a year back at San Diego State, and this is my 13th year at New Mexico now.
Yeah, you came here in 2000 as an assistant coach, is that right?
Yes.
And I think you presided over some really good times as an assistant coach there. Taking over last year and seeing the team so decimated by the defection of 5 players, taking over for a legend, Coach Flanagan, who did so much for the program to raise its national stature, going to the Sweet 16, going to the finals of the NIT, and then you inherit a program kind of in a mess.
Yeah.
What were your first thoughts when you took the job?
Well, we had 12 at that point, and we had some defections there, but the thing that Coach Flanagan made is they made this job easier for whoever took over. Regardless of what the state was in at that time, we still had the fan support. We still had the tradition now of winning 7 Mountain West Conference championships. We still had some of the traditions that I thought was going to be easier to rebuild, or was hoping, than it would if somebody else would have not done as much with. So, regardless of how it was left, Coach Flanagan made it easier for me and the staff to come in and get this program back to where we need to be. Now, you don't count on all the injuries we had, and we had a ton. But we lived through that, made it to the finals of the conference championship
Right.
that first year, which was really, really special. And it was something to build on. We go 11-18 my first year. We go 17-14 and come in fourth from 7th to 4th last year. So you see the progression in it. And, in year 3, I think it's still going to take a couple more years for the recruiting classes to be where we want to be. But this is year 3, and we're not, talking about anything but a Mountain West Conference championship.
Now, you've really been able to restock quite quickly, and in fact, just the other day, you signed a very good recruit that was, I guess, a little under the radar. You and I
Yes.
talked about it a little bit, but Lauren Newman out
Yeah.
of El Paso.
The restocking is a credit to the staff I have in place. The coaching staff with Joseph Anders, Anthony Turner, Edwina Brown, the support staff with Amy Bagan and Dave Shoemate, who really know the university well. Those people are the ones that helped us restock as quick as we can, because we've got people that are so ingrained in the university, and then we've got tremendous coaches who really know how to recruit and know how to teach basketball. We are pretty much finished in recruiting, and Lauren Newman kind of pops up as a kid that flew under the radar pretty much in our own backyard. El Paso's not too far away, and it was definitely worth taking a chance on. And I don't really think we're taking a chance. She's a great kid, terrific family, and she's going to do some really good things.
You lost a couple of seniors this year. Talk about them.
It's 2 senior classes for me now, and before I get with them, the senior class of Lauren Taylor, Nikki Nelson, Ashley Rhodes even, and Portia Torrance really paved the way for anybody else coming in. What those players had to deal with, just in the injuries and the coaching change and all the things. I mean, they could have just called it a season and instead made it to the conference finals. So I credit them with all of the things that are happening in the first part of my career being a head coach. Last year's seniors are no exception either. They worked so hard. We had Chinuary Naiji, Jamie Jackson, Jordan Erskine, and Caroline Durbin. And just a fantastic group. All of them have graduated, but Jamie, she's going to finish off in December. All of them are tremendous ambassadors to our program, and they're going to all do well. And so I've had a group of 8 seniors right now, and those players are paving the way for the success that we're going to have in the future.
Right. Now, we got some exciting news. Maybe some future Lobos in there too, but you're having your camps. Talk a little bit about that.
You know, camps are great, and camps are kind of bridging the gap from the community to your university. Not everybody that comes to camp is going to be a Division I basketball player. But if you have a kid that comes to camp, has a great positive experience, she might come to the University of New Mexico, be a lawyer, be a doctor, be a teacher, be somebody, and say, you know what, I went to New Mexico because of the Lobo women's basketball camps. And that's what the goal is with our camps. Our team camps start June 7th. They run 7th, 8th, and 9th, and there's still openings, and Amy Began runs the camps. On the 10th starts our individual camp, and it's 10th, 11th, and 12th, and that's all ages, and we'll break them up, and it's a lot of fundamentals. And then our elite camp, which quite a few recruits are coming into town, which is great, that starts 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Okay, now what's a number that you can shoot out there for people if they want to get a hold of them for the camps?
You can get a hold of the main office and get a hold of Amy Began.
Okay.
That number is 925-5770.
Now, finally, we've been teasing everybody, but you're actually going to be locked up. Tell everybody why you're getting locked up.
I'm going to jail, Rudy, and you know what? There's nothing you can do with it.
That's right.
I am going to jail on May 30th, and I'm helping out muscular dystrophy. I'll be in jail at Marcelo's Chop House from 11 to 12.
Well, if you're going to be in jail, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, it
right?
is. You know, I'll be in jail and gain about 50 pounds. But it's a great cause, and I'm trying to send a young man, Mikey, to camp. The goal is $1,600. I do have a web page right now that you can donate at. If you go under golobos.com, you'll see it's either on the women's basketball or it's on the main web page. You click on the link, and it goes right to my web page. And from there, you can donate 5, 10, as many dollars as you can to help me reach 1,600 and send Mikey to camp.
And we'll be, hitting that up on the redmenace.com when people go there. But I've already donated to your cause.
Yes.
And really, what we want to get is at least 1,600. Maybe we can get more, Coach.
That would be great. And it's such a great cause. I mean, there's so many things happening today in the world. You spoke on Oklahoma, watching the devastation that's happened there. And, coaching is a small world, too. I've tried to get a hold of coaches and players and recruits that were recruiting from there, and just to make sure they're okay and their families are okay. That's been hard to do. But there's just such great causes, and the muscular dystrophy is another one. It's helping out the community of New Mexico and Albuquerque, and, that's what I love to do. So if there's more to be had, that would be great.
Great, Coach.
But to have Mikey go to camp would be awesome.
Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to help you do that. Thanks for being my guest.
Rudy, it's
And
a
that's
pleasure.
Cherry and Silver Report, one in the books.